Hello everyone, and welcome to a new video of Would You Rather? Today we'll travel around the world through food, with delicious dishes that will make you choose your favorite. So, get ready, because we are starting now. First, we have the pork belly sandwich or the green plantain dumpling. Which one would you rather choose? Now we move on to arepas versus pupusas. Which one would you pick? Next, tacos al pastor versus choripán. Which one do you prefer? We also have ceviche or tiradito. Which one would you rather eat? Pejuada versus sancocho. Which of these dishes would you try first? Tamales versus halacas. Which one do you prefer? Empanadas versus samosas. Which one do you like more? Paella versus risotto. Which one would you choose? Sushi versus poke. Which one do you pick? Neapolitan pizza or pepperoni pizza? Which one do you prefer? Ramen versus pho. Which one would you choose? Rotisserie chicken versus fried chicken. Which one do you prefer? Hamburger versus hot dog. Which one would you pick? Shawarma versus kebab. Which one do you prefer? Fajitas versus burritos. Which one do you prefer? Pad Thai versus chow mein. Which one do you like more? Goulash versus beef stew. Which one would you choose? Indian curry versus Japanese curry. Which one do you prefer? Dim sum versus dumplings. Which one would you pick? Falafel versus hummus with pita? Which one would you rather eat? Croissant versus pain au chocolat. Which one do you prefer? Artisan ice cream versus frozen yogurt. Which one do you choose? Churros versus donuts. Which one do you prefer? Brownie versus cheesecake. Which one would you pick? Crepes versus waffles. Which one do you prefer? Cookies versus cupcakes. Which one do you like more? Apple pie versus cheesecake. Which one do you prefer? Chocolate cake versus carrot cake. Which one would you choose? Flan versus rice pudding. Which one do you prefer? Tres leches cake versus tiramisu. Which one would you pick? And that's it for today's episode of Would You Rather? Write in the comments which dish was your favorite and tell me what other foods you would like to see in future videos. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and share the video. See you in the next round of Would You Rather.